Welcome to your known unknown, where Source and I will help to shed light on what's unknown to you. Welcome back to the channel. Welcome here if it's your first time. We're going to pull some cards and see what kind of messages are needing to be seen. Happy Sunday. So I'm going to ring a bell and clear the energy, and we're just going to hop right to it. If you're sensitive to sound, please turn down your volume. So without a further ado, let's get to it. Let's into it. Let's pull some cards for you today. We have the Strength card. We have the Prince of Wands, which is the Knight of Wands, and the Wheel of Fortune. Someone working with definitely a moon cycle, like working through with the cycles of the moon, just with the, new moon in Capricorn. I think next up will be full moon in Cancer, if I'm correct, but I'm just going off the cusp here. You've been implementing a lot of strength, utilizing the energies celestially. You're somebody who is just like an observer. You're just watching and working with and doing what needs to be done. You think. We're going to pull some cards on those what ifs and those questions. But the reason why I say you think is because the Wands energy here is a lot more like you're feeling, you're doing, you think you're doing the right things. I think you are too. I think we all are. You're moving wheels in your favor because of the actions and choices you have made recently, especially. You've changed. You are changing. You are growing more honorable and disciplined and breaking through traumas, releasing, accepting, processing everything in order to feel again, to excite yourself again, to give yourself passion, kind of like what you had when you were a kid, right? It's just all tainted with growing up now. But you're growing up in the right way. You're kind of like growing down. So let's see what will help us navigate through these times here, Spirit. Your Justice clarifying the Strength, kind of just like defining strength here for you. seeing a blue sword in the Justice card. That's really sticking out to me here. There's this form of doing good by you kind of showing up here. You do good by you. If something isn't working for you, find the strength to remove that splinter. If you can bear it and it's not driving you crazy and it's not breaking you and it's not sabotaging a future that is great that's perfect for you, that's your ideal future. If it's not doing any of that, keep doing what you're doing. Having the strength is what's causing this justice. And this is like major arcana clarifying major arcana here. This is a very large piece of your story. And it might not just be correlated to one thing that you're focusing on, too. I'm saying you got to keep that in mind. Like, maybe you have a bunch of different altercations and interactions with people in various fields of your life, like love, career, finance, right? Maybe you have all these memories, all these thoughts, all these, and you're like, wow, there's no way that there can be that many lessons. Well, yeah, there are, but all those things stem down from like one or two main issues in our dynamics. Like, what virtue do you lack in? Which chakra is disrupted? Which emotional trait doesn't suit you? However you focus on your experience, your existence, whatever gives you profound insight, that is the symbolic metaphor and representation and therefore pathway for you to travel down. And I think that you have kind of grasped that concept and allowed what was sabotaging you to be observed and then revised, and you tried to do it as untraumatically as possible to your nervous system. You're still doing it, and it is rewarding you in return. You've had strength. What's going to help navigate through this time, continuing that strength, is understanding and implementing and the implementations of what's right and wrong. You know what I mean? Like, you know what's right, you know what's wrong. You're not chaotically unaware and out of whack anymore. You're very aware, and that makes your emotions much more powerful. So when it comes to your karma or what's good and bad, it all really comes down to, like, are you grateful or ungrateful? Are you, manipulating, or are you trying out, practicing, figuring out, experimenting, stuff like that? Are you loving life? Are you hating life? Are you an angel or are you a devil? It's like Jesus and the devil are really just states of being and mindsets. And you gotta remember that. They could be more, but here in the third dimensional world we live in, You have to play with the limitations of reality. You have to stay within them in order to own them, to control them. Otherwise, it would just be swords, 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 swords all the time. All you would see are swords and hermit cards being pulled all the time. The strength card, clarifying this justice again. We're we have the strength. I'm hearing like our strength is gratefulness. Specifically, right now is a very specific time to, if something disrupts you, find a reason to be grateful for it. It doesn't have to excite you, it makes you grateful. No. Enough of that there. Let's clarify this Knight of Wands, this Prince of Wands. Wow. I can't believe we just like double confirmed the strength card. Death just showed up as well, accidentally. So I don't need to say things like the death doesn't represent death, no reason to be scared. I mean, like, whatever, they're cards. But the meaning behind the cards, the energy that is experienced through this message, that's a good thing. Towers are good things. Disruption is a good thing. Be confident, have the strength. Something, a blockage, not even a blockage, just like a belief, a limitation, a restraint is dissolving. This Prince of Wands cards also, like, look at it, it looks like a strength card in other tarot decks, like, or Chariot maybe. It looks like the Chariot card. Six of Pentacles reversed. Ten of Pentacles saying hi. I'm hearing some other point of focus here is kind of like you might be somebody who expends a lot of their energy between their passions and their past traumas and kind of hyperfixating on either one of those throughout the day. So your past traumas can create patterns now, meaning like hyperfixation on partners, romanticizing, what's it called? Limerence, stuff like that, like those kind of aspects, those psychological aspects can take a lot of your energy. They take a lot of your focus and they distract you from reality, or what, better yet, what you can control for yourself in life. So the Six of Pentacles reversed, it's you give unfairly to a very negative part, but they're the beautiful parts of stemming from a dead root. You know what I mean? So You, your nervous system, your observer of reality, the experiencer that you are, is pretty fixated in romanticizing life when it should be more like a focus. No, I'm not going to say should. I don't like to say that, but it might be better if it's like a focus of allowing your passions to drive you as opposed to like really anything outside of you. Like your passion should be it should your passion is like enough. That's weird. And giving your mental energy to so many oh I see. Hmm. That's kind of why I was getting a little brain fogged here. What's gonna make you successful is your number two or three, even in life. Your number ones are kind of a rat. Like your number one focus, always number one. So, like your number two is pretty erratic. And so, maybe learning to focus. So, this flower in the Five of Pentacles can actually, like, you know, stand tall, bloom, be healthy, happy, flourish. And giving unfairly your time, attention, or that which you hold most valuable to yourself, what you find of yourself being most guarded, what is the most protected aspect of yourself that you get irritated when people screw with? Your time, your effort, your attention to detail, your work ethic, your services. Like, what do you feel like you protect? And how and where are you expending a lot of the focus? And is that focus creating a positive outcome in return, or is it just causing stress? So, with the Seven of Swords here, and it's like, yeah, this fox is just guarding that one thing. All the other ones are shown, but this one is like, this is one thing I won't let you walk over. I won't let you blah 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 blah. I don't know. For me, it's my time. And guarding my time falls into a lot of paths, like, and they can get affected. So if I spend some of my time doing some things, and then I come back and somebody makes an unappreciative comment, or they don't want something that I just spent all day doing, and it's like, that has to be okay. But instead of popping off my lid, I go, okay, whatever, you do what you want to do. I'm not expending my emotional energy anymore, but I do try to safeguard my time. So instead of getting upset, next time I'm going to ask ahead of time, and I'm going to take it literally and not just assume, or so many revisions that we can practice and implement for develop self. So we keep things safe, valuable. What's it valuable to you? It took me some time to find what was valuable to me, and it was like integrity. It was my freedom, my autonomy and sovereignty, my independence, all those fun buzzwords that are really truthful though, but my time ultimately. I realize that that's the one thing that people don't know is being taken from them by only people. People are the only ones taking that, and that's worth more than money. Because you can learn enough, as if you take care of your body, you can live long enough to learn a lot of lessons, and some of those lessons might be the ones that you direly need to learn, want to learn. So there's a price for everything, you know. Yeah. So next up, let's clarify this Wheel of Fortune. And that's kind of what this is saying, is there's a price for everything. So, you know, name your price for yourself, for your experience. How much is it for you? You know, what are you willing to spend on it? The Two of Swords in other decks. We have the Two of Swords reversed. The Two of Swords in the regular deck is a blind lady holding two swords, or with a blindfold on. In this deck, somebody else turned around. And it's labeled Decisions in the bottom. I know that this is kind of true for me, but to turn the wheel, it's kind of a dance between what you're in control of and what you're in control of. And by you, I mean you, the great you. You. Your higher self and you. And you with the X in it. You might have learned this lesson from an X. Anyways, speaking of X's, the swords are in an X. There's a lot of lessons that you've gone through. I get that. Okay. But what we're looking at is you're dancing with the universe, trying to. You are doing it so blindly. They are aware of that. But that doesn't quite matter. The fact is that wheel's spinning. Right now it is spinning real good in your favor. And you can and are rolling in the right direction. Okay? Keep rolling in a positive direction. And just know that when it starts to get a little uncomfortable and weird in the balance again, that you accept, you stop, and you just be grateful as best as you can. Period. Breathe. If you're super angry, breathe. If you can't let something go vice it up, go have a smoke, go breathe. Try not to smoke. Try to take care of yourself, honestly. But do what you gotta do to grab life by the fucking horns, man. You know? And woman, grab it. Grab life by the horns. And don't let go. Ride it and finish through. See it through. the Five of Pentacles again. You're gonna have to make choices you don't want to make. And you're like, I sat passively for a really long time saying, I'm not going to do anything. I'm going to let whatever needs to happen to me happen. And that's how I practice full unconditional acceptance. For a few years, I didn't make any choices that were up to me. And I rode the wave of life, and I realized I don't have to do anything to let it change. And it made me feel safe and comfortable, and it allowed me to heal in isolation out from some deep, deep trauma, and come through again, pull through, you know. I let the universe take care of me, and boy, did she. You know, and within my boredom, I became connected, and I started doing, and I started making an antenna to connect. And I was so dissociated from myself that I just channeled and tried out and listened and worked with and was guided. But I sat passively, got comfortable in that passivity. I feel like trauma kind of does that. It kind of allows you to be okay with not much. You get bored, then you know you do something, whatever your thing is. But now it's time to start making some decisions. That's a part of growing up. That's a part of being reborn. You do it quicker. So, in other words, we're in another chapter, and I'm hearing keep balancing with yourself. Don't allow your outside reality to not only get out of balance, but allow yourself to be unbalanced. And continue having the strength to stand up for what you believe in and to keep going where you're going, because you've been where you've been, and that just wasn't doing it for you. You've had the taste of what could be, and you know there's no turning back after that. Period. It only goes one direction. That's funny. And I get that you feel alone through all of this. And I don't mean like maybe you don't have a person, but I mean you feel alone. What you went through has. You do not feel the same about almost anything than you did prior to your your rebirth, you know? You've never felt more connected in your life, but you've never been so disconnected from reality ever. And I get it. That's the whole point. You're recreating. Reality started with a thought, you know? And it's going to continue to be born through imagination. And you spent a few years probably healing yourself, and you spent those few years imagining things. Like your imagination was like different than when you were a kid. When you were a kid, you probably imagined all kinds of fun things and different things, but you hit this point and these downloads and channels that were hitting your imagination, where again you're probably very aware and you're like, this next thought is not your own thought. So you're getting these downloads while you're in your dissociation, healing, isolating specifically, and it's your imagination is dancing with reality and your subconscious and creating everything that you've envisioned over the last few years during these major transitions celestially, in all aspects, socially, even like experientially. And you're starting to see that it can happen. You wanted to dive into it head on, and you're just like, whoa, that's a little tough, so let's take it a little slower. And hey, slower is a lifetime, so we're gonna do our part. And I know that's kind of just like a sort of feeling. You probably feel that way very often. You're probably just like, oh my God, life. Yeah. I mean, yeah. But that's where you fight for the things that excite you. And I think that maybe you have just gotten out of a point where things didn't excite you, or you hadn't found it yet. And you kind of allowed stuff to fall into place lately. I'm seeing disciplining your strengths, and it's giving your focus in other places and aspects in life. So you just started doing stuff, and that stuff is your niche. That's what you should focus on. And you should fight for that. And any spare moment that you have that you can, you should practice and play with it and do it and create with it and make it whatever it is for you. You are that right now. If it's a few different things of interest, you are those right now. Whichever one is you're doing more of, I'd say try to produce that somehow, or try to culminate that into a financial transaction somehow. But have hobbies too. We finally have hobbies again. We finally have thoughts again. We finally have a direction again, something that we love. We finally have something again that we love. And it's not it's not another emotional thing. It's just a thing to put our emotion into because we want to overpour, because our cup is huge as fuck. It's so big that we have to put it into something, otherwise we get depressed. We don't function properly. Our hormones get out of balance and we get sick. We don't want that shit anymore. We don't want to break. We don't break, we get dented. And we learn and teach ourselves how to pop that shit out. Boom. Cool. Alright, one more card here for this. Or whatever message you want to show us. Okay. From the One World deck, show us the message we need to see, please. At the end of the deck, we have the Sun. All the planets have been in Capricorn this last month. So many different conjunctions, so many different energies pulling and pushing in Capricorn and Cancer, and different aspects of our urges and our reality have been affected by this. And to you watching this, there has been a message for you somewhere in here. Something somewhere has resonated. I guarantee it. I guarantee it. If you found this, there that is. And the sun is popping out. So regardless if all of it has been your reading or some of it, or you can, however you relate, this major arcana, we opened with major arcana, we closed with a hard major arcana, the best card in the deck. You're going in the right direction. This is the most intense yes you can ever have. Yes, your angels, your spirits, your guides, your ancestors, your universe is applauding you and fully supporting you. They are saying, thank you. Yeah. They're saying thank you very much. You also have the Ten of Pentacles and then the Wheel of Fortune again. So and also you have the Devil. Like, dude, just like the best 4 cards lined up in a row for you, you know. Ace of Wands, the Devil, Wheel of Fortune, Ten of Pentacles. So, you keep being you. Sorry, I'm like an ugly crier over here. That's intense. Thank you, thank you, thank you so much. Anyways, we are complete. I'm not going to be doing an extended reading today. I appreciate the support that I've had on the Patreon so far. A lot more will come there soon, that I can promise. Looking forward to releasing some products as well at some point, some other services that we're kind of falling into. Riding the waves of the moon. I'm going to take a deep breath and clear myself to disconnect from this energy real quick. You can join with me if you'd like. With that, if you like my content, please like, share, subscribe, do all that good stuff. I love being here. This is probably my favorite probably my favorite escape throughout the whole weeks is being here for the 30-ish minute videos that I get to make, sometimes longer. I just like separating from the world and being with you, connecting in, being with me and us together. So I'm so grateful. So grateful. We will see y'all with the full moon coming up soon. And I'm gonna do my research on that too. Let's see what we can figure out and see how we're connecting in and how we're riding this wave. And being just doing us. So anyways, thank you for being here. Thank you for receiving me. Thank you for just being. Until next time. and much love.